Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence with Just Ask Podcast Live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for my afternoon special. Now, listen, I know you haven't seen us in a while. Well, we've been busy. We've been trying to get some new resources out here for you so that you can connect with. And so, of course, we always have something that's interesting to our population that we serve, which is the disabled and the elderly. So I did a little research recently and came across a wonderful program that I wanted to introduce you guys to so that you can find out if you have an interest, and most of you will, especially if you are a caregiving family member that is looking for some resources to involve or engage your elderly parents in, or if you are a senior that's interested in being involved in some resource and to find out what it is that you need to know coming up in the near future. So today our show is Healthier Black Elder Center, and we have four wonderful guests to address the concerns or have answer questions to what is the Healthier Black Elder Center. So without further ado, well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good. So it's so many of you. I'm just going to make sure that I get a chance to say your name, and you can tell us what your titles are or the programs that you're involved in. So I see in our far right corner, Mr. James Bridgeforth. I'm sorry, Mr. Bridgeforth. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your title?
Yeah, I'm a member of the Community Advisory Board, Wayne State University, Healthier Black Elders Program. I am a professional manager, and I have extensive background in community involvement in various communities and led various organizations. So I'm an active member and glad to be there.
Okay, and across from you is Vanessa Roy. So hi, Vanessa.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Vanessa Rorai. I am one of the coordinators of the Healthier Black Elder Center, and I work at Wayne State University out of the Institute of Gerontology.
Great. And down to my far right is Dr. Tam Perry.
Hi there. Good afternoon. My name is Tam Perry. I'm a faculty member at the Wayne State University School of Social Work. I'm also the core faculty member in Detroit for our Healthier Black Elders Center outreach program.
Okay. And Miss Sandra Richardson Smith.
Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Richardson Smith. I'm a member of the Citizens Advisory Board of the Healthier Black Elder Center, Wayne State University Institute of Gerontology, for almost 3 years now, but I've been a member of the organization for 13 years.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
I love it.
Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us. Now, I remember that I had a chance to see, and I'm not sure if any of you were there, but you were at one of the, hosting a table at one of the aging expos, and I came across the table, and I picked up the literature, and I said, I want to reach out to you guys one day soon. So I kept the literature, okay, and I kept my promise that I wanted to reach out to you guys one day soon. So, Vanessa, I want to start with you. Can you give us a little insight on what it is that you do there, and what is Healthier Black Elder Center?
Absolutely. So we are a center that's funded from the National Institutes on Health. We started in the late 90s, so our center has been running for just over 25 years. And the goal of our program is to target and reduce health disparities through both research and education. So just to give some larger context, there's not an equal representation or participation of older adults in research, but in particular, older African American adults in research. And results of research studies can be utilized and is utilized for a variety of different reasons. It's used to create policy, develop programs, gives us a better understanding of health conditions. And if the people participating in these research studies don't accurately reflect the makeup of our real world communities and populations, then the results are not always very applicable or meaningful or useful. So our goal is to increase that representation and participation of older African American adults in research. And we do that by running a research registry. So we invite members of the community that identify as being 55 years or older and identify as being either Black or African American to join our registry, where they can learn about opportunities and be invited to participate in various research studies. Our program is run by our community advisory board members. We have 16 members. 2 of them are with us today, and they really are the leaders of the program. So I like to say that really I have 16 bosses. They tell me the direction that they want to see the program go into, what they want us to do programming on. And one of their most important roles is they are really the gatekeepers of our research registry.
Okay.
So we don't allow just anyone to utilize our registry. Researchers have to apply. Our board members review the application and they make the ultimate decision whether someone can contact our members to recruit for their studies.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, I would like to, you guys can chime in at any point, but James Bridgeforth, I'd like to ask you some questions as the only male here right now. What do you do exactly there? Because I can tell that you have to do something with the male population. So tell us a little bit about your role there.
Well, my role as a community advisory board member, as Vanessa said, is to really participate in the various lunch and learns programs, to be there to help set directions for the program, to try to ensure that our members are protected in the research process so that they're not taken advantage of, that they clearly understand what the research is about, to encourage researchers to provide information back to the community relative to the research that they've done, and also to promote the program and encourage people to participate in research because, as Vanessa said, minority groups tend to be underrepresented represented in research, and consequently the research can be skewed in the wrong direction. And as we know, that most of these diseases, such as Alzheimer's and other diseases, cancer, can affect aging adults more than they do other ethnic populations. So we want to make sure that we try to get as much a minority representation in these research programs so that the information that they obtain can be applicable to that group.
Okay. So now, actually, I know our viewers are trying to figure out, well, how do you become involved and, what makes this program stand out amongst others? So I want to ask Dr. Tam Perry, can you chime in here right quick and tell us a little bit about yourself and, give us an insight for why this type of program is important to the community?
Thanks for the opportunity. So it's important to the community in a few ways. First of all, there are 18 on a national level, there are 18 resource centers for minority aging in the country funded by the National Institutes of Health. We are so lucky that one of them is in Detroit and Flint. So that's, and also we're longstanding, meaning we've been around and funded continuously since 1997. So I think one thing that we acknowledge is that trust building and presence in the community is important to get good work done. So I think our center is long established, and certainly if you look on our website, www.mcguire.org, you can find out about our history, but also to know that the people working at this have been at this a long time. The second thing is that we acknowledge the historical abuses by researchers for persons of color. And so we acknowledge it as a program, and we note that it is important to have a longstanding presence in order to build trust, acknowledging history and challenge, and also current challenge. The COVID challenged persons of color in Detroit, certainly, and across the country. So acknowledging current health disparities, and this program is really set up to make sure that people in the community are offered resources and health education.
Okay.
The other thing is, lastly, to give before we ask people to participate in studies. So while we have a research registry that is very much overseen by our community advisory board, and researchers don't get access to the people on the registry without scrutiny, the other thing is people can come and participate in our programs and receive our health information newsletters without participating. So the idea of giving first and giving often, I think, is another core value of our program.
Okay. Okay. All right, Miss Sandra Richardson Smith. I know you said you're like the newcomer on the docket here. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your role.
Well, yes, I'm the newcomer here, but I'm also a seasoned citizen,
All right.
having retired from the largest school district in the state of Michigan. I don't know if we need to name names. In 2010, and that happens to be the same year that I lost my mother, and the same year my favorite aunt was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. I retired as a district administrator over English language learners and global languages. I am a language and culture person. I love celebrating diversity. I love the elderly. I love helping in the community. And it's very, very important that once we become seasoned citizens, that we realize that other people still care about us, because the United States has a terrible reputation when it comes to how we treat the elderly and healthcare and so forth when you compare it with other countries. Okay, and I've visited 5 continents. Staying active is of paramount importance as we age. And I know that a lot of times things change in the body and you may not feel like you can do what you used to do. And most people cannot, but you need to keep that mindset that you're going to keep things moving, keep it moving. Okay? Some of the lunch and learns that really impressed me early on was one when we had 2 experts come and spoke on arthritis. Now, as a little girl, I used to hear my grandparents talk about those Arthur boys. Okay, you have to be part of the community to realize what folks are talking about. But as I grew older and learned that itis is a Latin origin, which means inflammation of whatever it is on the body. So then I remember, they were talking about arthritis when they said those Arthur boys were bothering them and they were hurting. We had 2 experts come, one that talked about rheumatoid arthritis and one that talked about osteoarthritis. Well, a lot of our people don't have the health literacy that is of paramount importance. So when you have advisory board members who can reach out, extend themselves, it's very, very helpful. And when you try to lead by example, and I really do, you don't retire and sit on the couch and think that your life is over, because it isn't.
So let me ask you guys this, and I'm sorry, Ms. Richardson, let me ask you guys this. In the event that this program was designed, was it partially designed on the fact that as we are starting to age, that there is more resource, more of activities available to keep people engaged, to keep the elderly engaged? Is there also medical support to assist in certain things like dementia? So, this program obviously is a research center, but are you guys tailored to find things that will help people in groups? Because you hear about, this is going on and nobody's talking about it, or nobody's doing anything about it. So how do we know if the community is comfortable enough to come forth and say, hey, I want to join this program?
Yeah, I really like to think of our program as really going beyond just connecting our members to research studies. And that's really through our community education programming, which you've heard mentioned a couple times, we call Lunch and Learns. So the Lunch and Learn events are held at various locations in the city of Detroit. They're always on a different health-related topic. We bring expert presenters and speakers and health professionals to give a presentation on the health topic. But we also like to invite local organizations to attend as resource tables so they can share the programs and services and things that they can offer to connect our members to, things that they may not have heard of or been exposed to. We also have a free health screening that's always present at all of our Lunch and Learn events. We serve lunch, and then we also invite the researchers to attend so folks can talk to them, learn about the studies that they're currently running, and if they're interested, they can sign up to participate. But all of our programming is tailored around the feedback that we get from our board members, but also from the HBEC members themselves. We do evaluations at our Lunch and Learns, and we ask them, what are you interested? What do you want to learn about? What can we do more events on that is relevant and meaningful for you?
Okay. I know we have some materials here, so I wanted to bring this up. Healthier Black Elder Center, Unlocking the Potential of Artificial Intelligence in Disease-Based Research. That sounds scary to me, but okay. So we already know that, we have a concern about AI, and now it's going to be affecting what we believe and what we do in the medical field shortly. Okay.
Yeah,
So anybody want to comment?
What I think is...
Go ahead.
Go. I was just going to say, what I think is great is the focus of research studies that utilize our program really varies quite a bit. So we'll have research studies that'll be on specific health conditions, such as, managing diabetes, hypertension, glaucoma, to more broader things such as, communication styles with your primary care doctor, a lot of studies on caregiving, the dynamics of caregiving.
And those are very important topics, Vanessa, because, as you're starting to age, you do be more concerned about your vision, your hearing, your gait. It's things that, it comes across the table that says, I need to check this out, my kidneys, what's going on. So these things are very important, and it's good to know that people can be engaged in finding out more about that, or finding out if their physician is aware of some of the things that, they're concerned about. I wanted to bring up your lunch. No, I'm sorry. This paper here, is this more like your study that's going on currently?
Yeah, so what you're showing is a picture of a page from our newsletter. So we mail a newsletter twice a year to all of our registry members, and we always include a list of studies that are actively recruiting. So these are different studies that are looking for folks to participate. We do prefer studies that provide compensation, so a majority of them will compensate folks for their time participating. But, our Lunch and Learns is sort of a larger way for us to give back and thank our members for being in studies. So that's why we like to be able to do the Lunch and Learn events. But then in our newsletter, we also include our Lunch and Learn schedule. And so we do about 4 or 5 Lunch and Learns in the spring. That runs from February through June. And then we'll take a break for summer, come back for fall, and we do 4 or 5 Lunch and Learn events from usually August through December.
Well, let me bring that up because I did have a question for Mr. Bridgeforth about the men's type 2 diabetes, which I'm sure he can answer that. But let me go to the Lunch and Learn form here. So you do have some coming up. Okay.
Yes.
And for those who are
interested. And the Lunch and Learns are open to anyone that's interested in attending.
Okay, so this is pretty much your schedule for the upcoming months of February through June.
Correct.
Okay, so for the month of February, Housing American Older Adults. In March, Getting Your Affairs in Order. April, Food as Medicine. May, Brain Health and Aging. June, Evaluate Your Voice. Voters preparedness. Okay. Very good topics to talk about. Okay, so we hope that...
I just wanted to interject something. You might want to tell them, if we haven't already, how you become a member and get involved in the participant research pool, and how many people we have in that pool. You might, if you may want to address that so they'll know how we recruit members.
Okay, so that question for you, Vanessa or Dr. Perry?
Sure. So right now we have just under 1,200 active members in our program. To become a member, you can give us a call at our office phone number, that 313-664-2616. To join the program, we will do a survey with members. The survey will ask you questions about your contact information, some health information, questions about housing, use of technology. And based on the answers you provide to that survey determines which studies you may be eligible to participate in. Okay. For example, if you answer yes to having a stroke and a researcher is looking for people who have previously had a stroke, then your name and contact information may be shared with that researcher to invite you to participate. It's always important to us to get the messaging out there that research is always voluntary, no matter what, and no matter who's doing it or where it's being conducted. So even if folks want to join our program, doesn't mean they have to participate in research. If they're contacted by a researcher, they don't have to join the study. It's always voluntary and up to them. You can do the survey by telephone. It takes about 20 minutes. We can do that with you over the phone. We can mail you a copy of the survey, or we can email you a link and you can complete it at home on the computer.
That's a lot of different options there, a lot of good options. So Dr. Perry, let me ask you, what makes this program so well?
Well, I think it's longstanding. I think it's the commitment of making sure that voices that have not been at the table get to the table. So I think that's both in research projects where we want older African Americans to participate, but also in all the programming. So you saw the lineup, meaning the last one of voter preparedness in June. That is directly because our leaders, our community advisory board, is very worried about voting access. And they're very much engaged with the election. And they think it's important, of utmost importance for minoritized populations to take interest in the election this year. So then we made a program on it where we're trying to find speakers on this topic because it's been a request. So I feel like the way the staff, faculty, and community advisory board members work together weekly, multiple meetings throughout the month to really move this program forward is quite unique. We've just published 2 articles with CAB members as co-authors in academic papers. We've brought CAB members to academic conferences. So this idea that their lived experiences, both professional and personal, need to get to other communities. And so I think this program is a very strong organization to do that.
Okay. All right. That's wonderful. So let me ask you, Mr. Bridgeforth, James Bridgeforth, is it difficult to get men involved in these types of studies?
Yes. As I said, we're trying very hard to recruit men, but we have such a low participation. We're trying to, for instance, on the Alzheimer's Research Committee, we're trying to find ways to engage men who are interested in doing the research. And we found that to be the case in other programs that we've sponsored as Healthier Black Elders Center. And for some reason or other, it's very difficult to get them interested in coming and participating in mass, So we're still working on that, trying to find ways to do it. We encourage them to do it because we need the research, we need the data, and because it's going to influence treatments and proactive care for the community. So we want to get them involved.
Okay. Well, hopefully today with Just Ask, we can help, support you guys in getting the word out. And when people tune in, they'll say, I got to get over there. Okay. So we do hope that we're some help to you guys. And the reason I asked about the male population is because I can imagine that, most men say, no, I don't want no study. I don't want this. But had you considered going to some of the shelters or some of the treatment facilities to recruit men from treatment facilities or the VA? I mean, that's just a ideal. Have you guys went that far to the treatment facilities or anything?
Well, we at the Alzheimer's Association, we've even put on fairs at Ford Field. We've gone to a lot of the facilities. We have community people who are actively going to the various centers, trying to recruit men. Then at our Lunch and Learn program, we have recruitment opportunities there. Also through the newsletter, through our letter, phone number that we've published, we have an opportunity there. So we're working very diligently to find ways to interest men, because the question is always, what's in it for me? And we're trying to answer that question in such a way that it appeals to the people we're trying to recruit. And
Okay.
I just want to leave this with you. What's in it for them is that they get a chance to really find out what their healthcare history is and what they're passing on to the next generation, and how to be prepared for future emergencies that may occur as a result of dementia, Alzheimer's, or other disease. So we're introducing a kind of a planning, proactive, rather than a reactive kind of a situation.
Okay. Well put. Well put. Well, like I said, I hope that we are here at Just Ask are some help to you guys. And, mainly if we can do anything to help support the fact that there is some research out there to educate people and to actually show people that there's longevity in in health, that you guys are there to open up their eyes and give them opportunities to ask questions, face to face with the primary health care program. So I'm hoping that we're one of those programs that will assist you. I've got to run, but I thank you all for joining us. Will you come back and join us again?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. So hold that thought for me 1 second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you need to see us, don't forget we're on PBS Channel 56 every Wednesday morning at 5:30 a.m. Or go to our stations, Comcast Detroit, Comcast Southfield, Birmingham, Bloomfield, Lake Orange, Troy, River Rouge, East Lansing, you name it. If we haven't gotten there yet, we will be. All right. So you don't have to worry about that. But I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. What do I always say? You know me. If you have a question about a person with a disability or just have a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. And please, by all means, tune in next time. See you next time.